Pakistan, nice, nice. I see some Bay Area folks here. Oh, India, nice. It's pretty late for all of y'all. All right, we are live. Welcome everyone to Creating Animated GIFs in Photoshop. I'm Grace, and I'm happy to have Nibi or Nabil on from Design Buddies on today on a tutorial on how to make GIFs. So really quick, in case you guys are new to Design Buddies is the largest design community in the world. We have nearly 17,000 members now. Welcome to join. And so for the quick flow of the event, we're going to start with briefly logistics, and we also have a networking sheet shared in the chat where y'all can connect with each other. Make sure you join Design Buddies too. And then we'll pass it on to Nibi. And at the end, we'll be taking a group photo. So make sure you want to grab a fun object. And after that, after group photo, we'll be doing a little wave for our Instagram story. So that's what we do at all of our events too. And then that concludes our event. So make sure to stay to the end for some group photos. And with that said, I'll pass it on to Nibi. You are host now, so you can share your screen.
Awesome. So, hey everyone, I'm Nabil, and nice to meet everyone. Thanks for coming. So what we're going to learn today is I'm going to teach you guys how to make animated GIFs, and whether or not you want to use them for your case study or portfolio, or even if you're working at a website, or if you just want to make them for fun. I'm going to run 2 demonstrations, and the first one is going to be how to screen record a Figma prototype. And I'll teach you how to screen record. Well, for Windows, I'll teach you how to screen record. And on Mac, I don't have one, so apologies. But for Mac users, don't worry. The program I'm using also is available for Mac, and it's pretty much the same way. But you can also use QuickTime Player to record your screen as well. So I'm using 2 machines. So if you see the side of me, just that's why, because I can't do this on my laptop. And so anyway. Just let me know if I'm going too fast, or if you have any questions, ask me to clarify. Feel free to speak up. And hopefully, if we have enough time afterwards, you guys can go ahead and create your own GIFs, and you can share them on Design Buddies in the event submissions channel. So without further ado, oh, Grace, it says host participant. I can't share my screen because I'm using the Design Buddies community one. Also, you're muted, Grace.
Yeah, so it's on the Design Buddies, the one that you're logged in right now. I made you host.
Yeah, that's on me.
Okay, cool.
Okay, I'm gonna share my entire screen. So how we're gonna use this is we're going to be using Photoshop. So if you don't have Photoshop, you can download a trial or buy it from Adobe. And I'm assuming you guys know how to use Photoshop, but if you don't, that's okay. The first order of business though is we are going to go into Figma here. So I have this made. It's just a screenshot, a bunch of screenshots put together of the Design Buddies landing page on my phone. So I'm going to press play here. So it's going to open up this prototype. And so you can see my screen. I'm going to actually move Figma around a bit because I just realized it might be a bit problematic with the zoom controls. Anyway, so the program I'm going to be using to record is called Open Broadcast Studio. So OBS Studio, and this is how it looks like. So the first thing you're going to do once you install it is you're going to go to Settings. And this is a program that you can use for streaming on Twitch or YouTube, Facebook Live, a bunch of other ones, but you can ignore that for now. For the purpose of today, we're going to be using it to record your screen. And generally, the default settings you can keep. So make sure you set your recording path, recording format. I like to use MP4. And make sure that you set your video resolution to the same one as your laptop or desktop monitor. So for me, I'm using 2560 by 1440p for both base canvas resolution and scale. All right, so now that's done and out of the way. So you can add multiple scenes here, but for now, we're just going to focus on one. And you can also use this program to record both like your audio output and your microphone. So anything that comes out of your computer, you can record that. But I'm going to mute that for now. So here is where this is what you want to configure under sources. So you're going to click on the plus button here to add a source, and you have a bunch of different sources here. So this purpose, I'm going to click on window capture here, create new, okay. And you're going to click on, we're going to make sure Figma is selected. And you have the opportunity here, you can leave the default settings. Honestly, I've been using this for like almost 10 years and I very rarely ever mess with these settings, so you can ignore them. I'm going to untick capture cursor. You should probably capture cursor if you're doing a prototype and you want to show where like, you're clicking, but for the sake of this, I'm going to untick it. So I'm going to press OK. I'm going to start recording and it's going to record on my desktop and you'll see it. And there we go. So now it's recording this prototype and I'm recording myself scrolling up and down the Design Buddies site. Cool. Super simple. Now I'm going to stop the recording. Now I'm going to go into Photoshop. And this is what it's going to look like, right? So I'm going to assume that like your Photoshop is set to Essentials default. I'm going to press Reset and go to Window over here. You're going to tick the timeline here. So then you have this on the bottom of the screen. And now I'm going to go to File, Import, Video Frames to Layers. And I know I'm going fast, but you get to see this again. I'm going to choose this video that I recorded. And I'm going to limit to every 2 frames because when it comes to GIFs, it's not very well optimized file format. So you want to really keep an eye on GIF optimization is something maybe we can touch into briefly here. But so I'm going to choose my which area. You can select the timeline here of how much you want to. So this has the entire video. So I'm just going to drag it like so, and it's going to import only the frames in between these 2 ins and outs here. So I'm going to press OK. It might take a bit. Sometimes you get a dialog that says, like, it gives you a warning if it's more than 500 frames. So now we're waiting for that. And all of your frames are here as layers on the right side, bottom right. And on the timeline, you can see everything here. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to crop this. So I'm not going to, just for the sake of time, I'm not going to make it perfect, but just going to roughly do it like so. Press OK. And it's going to crop it for every frame and layer. So now that that's done, what are we looking at here? You have layers up here. And if you tip them, it takes you there. So on the bottom, these are automatically imported in terms of layer order. So these are all the frames. And what I'm going to do actually is before it actually scrolls, since we have some 60 or so frames right here, or 50, I'm going to click on 49, hold shift, go back to 1. That will, so the frames 1 to 49 are selected. And the purpose of doing this is to save space of the GIF at the end. We're going to delete frames. So you click this little hamburger menu on the top right of the timeline, which is our best friend. And you also want to make sure that your GIF is set to forever, unless you want it to play once or 3 times or forever. You can also specify like a number. So that so you see these little numbers here on the bottom. You can select all frames and change the time to 0.02 seconds. I'm going to make it 0.05 since I said skip every other layer when we imported. And I'm going to set the first one to 1 second. So that means if I press this play button here, it's going to show this for 1 second and then show these others. So actually, I'm going to select all these frames again. Since it is basically 30 frames a second, I'm going to go back to 0.02, and we're going to optimize this. So I'm letting it play, and as soon as it's done here, right, I'm going to cheat a bit, and I'm going to go from frame 115 to the end and delete the rest, and I'll show you why in just a moment. So I'm going to set this to 2 seconds, right? So the last frame is 2 seconds, the first frame is 1, and everything in between is set to 0.002. So we're going to select every frame after the first one and before the last one. Click on the hamburger menu again, copy frames, click on the last one, the last frame, paste frames, and here you can do lots of cool things here. Paste after selection, paste before. And this is actually really nice because it can show you how to, if you're working with multiple open files in Photoshop, you can basically easily copy frames to and from different files. So paste after selection. And now it's the same exact thing. So it's just going to duplicate itself. But since these are already selected, so these are the ones that we just pasted, we're going to click the hamburger menu again, click on reverse frames. And now what this is going to do, if we play, it's going to show this for the first, and it's going to scroll, and it's going to stop here for 2 seconds, and then it's going to basically reverse, since we reversed the order of the frames, and it's going to do the same thing again. So now I'm going to resize this, because if I say 1080, it will take a long time to export. So we're going to resize this down to 540 pixels by pressing Control Alt I, or you can also go to Image and Image Resize. And my computer decided to freeze, which is not cool. Yeah, bit of an issue here. Okay, so Photoshop just decided to close, which is why sometimes I don't like Photoshop. All right. So for the sake of time, I'm going to quickly redo this. Can everybody see my screen fine? Yeah, it's showing up fine here. All right, so real quick, I'm actually doing a better job now. So I'm going to File, Import Video Frames to Layers. I'm clicking this. I'm actually going to set this to like 5 frames just for the sake of time. And it's going to import them.
Oh,
Could you please mute your mic? And I'm going to make sure my timeline is up. Going to do a quick little crop. All right, so I'm going to basically really quickly delete some of these frames. So I'm just selecting them from here to here. So this is much faster now. Since I imported less frames, it's going to be much quicker than before. So I'm going from 46 to 123. And generally, the less frames you have, the smaller your GIF will be. And it also depends on the size of your project. So I'm selecting all the frames again in between, copy frame, selecting the last one, pasting them afterwards. So you want to make sure it says paste after selection. You can also paste over them, which I can show you later. I will show you later. And now we're going to reverse these. And just like that, make sure that you set the middle one to 2 seconds again, the first one to 2. So now it's going to play the first frame to 2 seconds and scroll these. Those one's going to pause for 2 seconds, and then it's going to reverse them again. And this will repeat forever. So now that we have that done, this is the fun part where you go to File, and you go to, where is this? I always use a shortcut, so I always forget. Export, save for web legacy. So the shortcut is Alt, Shift, Control, S, and it would be pretty much the same on Mac except for Command. And then you get this guy coming up. And this is where you optimize everything. So usually you have presets here. I think the default one is GIF 128 dithered or non-dithered. Don't worry too much about the presets. But also one thing to keep in mind, a max amount of colors you can have in an amount of animated GIF is 256. We don't need to worry about transparency. I will show you a little bit more of that later. But because this will give you a pretty accurate estimate of like how big the file is on the bottom left, so it says GIF 5.06 megabytes, and that's kind of big. So I'm going to real quickly use this built-in image size thing to reduce the size, and you're gonna press save. I guess it's waiting for resizing everything. There we go. We're gonna click on save. You can title it, let's title it AA, and it's exporting your GIF, and there it is. So I'm gonna open up my browser, which decided to shoot itself. And this is our GIF that we just made. So I know it was a lot, but I'm going to show you how to do it from scratch, and it'll be a lot quicker. And that GIF is only 1.5 megabytes roughly, so that's much better. Generally try to keep it under 2 megabytes because you want to think about accessibility in mind, because not everybody has a fast connection. So we're going to basically, so this is an octopus that I made a while ago, and I'm going to create a little animation of him changing colors, since octopus, they change colors. So it's in here. I'm going to right click this layer, duplicate it. You can also use Control J. So I'm going to duplicate it about like 6 times. So I haven't done anything with the frame animation yet. You can press create frame animation and it'll just have the first frame there. So I'm selecting the second frame. I'm going to go to Image, Adjustments, Hue, Saturation. So basically what I'm doing here is that I want to make each one of these. I'm going to set this to 45. I'm changing the color over time. So 45 here, I'm going to set this here to 90. And this is just something that if you're into RGB or something, this is just something that's fun. So I'm just going up into 45, increments of 45 for the hue. And I'm going to have to do this a bunch more. So for each layer I'm selecting, I am now going to put negative 135 since it's going back here. Okay. And you can do the same exact thing for moving. So if you want to move an object, you can use the transform tool. Wait, did I just do this twice? Yes, I did. So I'm going to just do that real quick. So actually, we're done. I actually made an extra frame, so I'm going to delete that. So now you click here and you can say make frames from layers. And all of our frames are here. I'm going to make sure that this is set to forever. I'm going to select all the frames and select the time to, let's say 0.05. I'm going to press play. And it's changing colors, maybe too quick, maybe too fast. So let's change it to 0.1. There we go. So now this is going to be transparent since you have the checkerboard background, and GIFs do support transparency, but be careful with that because some things like gradients, like fading into a transparent, won't exactly work very well. And fade in and out sometimes don't work well due to the power limitation. So again, we're going to File, Export, Save for Legacy. And I'm leaving all these settings default. And here, even though I have the default ones, the default transparency settings are pretty much decent. And we're going to send this here. I'm going to open up my browser. And I'm going to put it here. Now, I did this on purpose. You see these white jagged edges? You can play around the settings by going back to your Save for Web. You want to play around the transparency diffusion. So I'm going to click on diffusion transparency there. The matte color, which is the one that tells you like, okay, what's the one that we don't want to, what's the color that's going to change all those little whites to? And we're going to, well, this is annoying because I always forget that this part of Photoshop doesn't have a color picker. Oh, I did actually use straight up black, so that's actually okay. So I'm going to change this to black. And I'm going to replace this. And it's exported. And there is no ugly white stuff around it. So now it's perfectly transparent. And what you can also do is I'm going to give this a background. So I'm dragging this background here. And I'm going to duplicate this. So I have, how many layers do I have? 8. So I'm going to go here, select all the frames, go to the hamburger menu, copy frame, create frame animation, and I'm going to make 8 of these. And you click here, make frames from layers, select all of these guys, select all the frames, and you can press paste frames, and this time we're going to click over selection. So now I have this octopus here, and note in my layers panel, all of them are here, but they're all kind of set to the top left. So we're gonna use the move tool to move all of them basically straight center using the guidelines. And now if I press play, 17.1 again, I have an octopus in the middle of the sea. And now, what if I want to use this as a video? Instead of a GIF, you can also go to File, Export, Render Video, and to specify where you want it to export to. I'm using the default ones, so I'm not playing around with those settings really. You can if you want to, but that's not the purpose of this one. So I'm gonna see my video here, and there it is. Perfect and lossless. And we're going to change this into a GIF by going to export, save for web. And save for web is actually really cool because you can also use it for PNGs, web bitmaps, and JPEGs. And you can actually do a little bit of editing right here within the tool itself. So this is only 460 kilobytes because it's only 8 frames. And I'm going to send it here. And this is what it's going to look like when I put it into my browser. So there it is, plain and simple, right? And just to show you an idea of some other GIFs that I've made, all of these were made in Photoshop or some combination of Photoshop and After Effects. So this is something I made for a friend. And these are all basically sometimes what I'll do is I'll make a video in like After Effects or Premiere or Vegas and dump it into Photoshop and just export it as a GIF. And you can also do, I can actually demonstrate real quick another screen recording if you guys want, or if you guys would rather just, you know. And one thing is that these are really easy to implement on your website or portfolio. I don't think I have any on my portfolio per se, but I do have a lot of GIFs here and these are really easy to implement. So if you guys want to, we can open up for any questions and answers, Q&As, and also feel free to make your own and share them in the event submissions channel on Discord. I don't actually. I have never actually tried that. I just haven't had the need to do that. I haven't really thought about doing it that way. Yeah, so you can actually import an entire. So I'm going to show that right now. I'm going.
मैंने इसकी बहन से बात करी.
How to do a high quality video. Okay, so I'm going to grab something. I don't know what these are, so I'm kind of scared. All right, I'll just take something that I made years ago, put on my desktop. I'm going to close these just to see resources. Gonna go to File, Import, Video Frames to Layers, and I'm going to, did I select? Oh, I did not mean to select this one, but that's okay. This is a short one, I believe. So like, this is something that's super old. It's actually, if you guys would recognize this, it's from Zelda. But I'm gonna select this, I'm gonna crop it so I don't have any of the black bars around it. And resizing this, let's say like 480. Okay. And this is actually really small. There's only less than 100 frames. It's just her doing this. I don't know why I made this, but anyway. So one thing you can do is if you have a lot, you can kind of figure out where is the first frame, where it loops, and if you can delete, if you can figure out where the loop is, this is what I'm doing right now. So it seems to be right around frame 16. I'm gonna go to 16 to the end, delete these, and I'm going to export this as a GIF. It's gonna be a nice small one again. Get rid of that. And there it is. It's a silly headbanging GIF. So I'm just reading the chat. Okay. Sorry about that, Grace. Okay. Grace, I made you co-host finally. Okay. So Mohammed asked about the how to do a high quality video. Yeah, so if you do include a video, now this is a bad example since it has basically not too many colors, but I'll try to find something here that has a lot of colors. It's in the streamable folder. I don't know, something from Mario. Let's just take this screenshot from Mario. File, import video frames to layers, freeze Mario. I'm gonna limit it to every 2 frames just to see. Okay. So, oh, this is pretty tragic, but okay. If I export this to like, let's say GIF 32 dither, just to show an idea of how loss of color quality is like, you get something like this. Well, I forgot to play with the speed. This is also what happens when you don't optimize your timing. So this has to be set to 0.06. And that's something that you should always check your timing before you export. I should practice what I preach. And, but the purpose of this is really to show you that if you export with limited colors, do you see how it's like kind of looks kind of grainy and desaturated. So if your GIFs are if you want something like that, I mean, it might work if you're making something like vaporwave or something like that. But what does dithered mean? So dithered, basically, it's a way of blending pixels together so that it's more like something that was used back in back when the computers had limited colors. So like back in the VGA days or something, it was an easy way to like display more colors, so to speak. So that's why if you look at this right here, actually, you get those little dotted pixels. But if we turn off no dither, if we have no dither at all, let's see what it looks like. I'm gonna put this right here. Yeah, do you see how it just shows only the 32 colors without using any of the pixelation? So do you see how this still, even though it is the same amount of colors, it looks better because it has a dithering effect going on, whereas here, there is no dithering, and it's just using 32 colors like a bitmap would. And that's a visual explanation. I tried the best I could and probably could have done a better job, but yeah. Is there anything you guys would want me to demonstrate? Yes, exactly. It's definitely pixel blending. Okay, so you want to know about how to reduce file sizes of a GIF. So what's a GIF that has, I think, I'm just gonna take one of my own since I already have. I feel like these are bad. This is a bad idea because I've already optimized them. But I'm going to find something else. So I don't know. I'm going to import video frames to layers. I made this old game a while ago, so it's super out there. Okay, so if I just dump this here, and how many frames is this? 121. All right, so I'm gonna export this by using Control-Shift-Alt-S. And yeah, definitely like try to be mindful about your file size because generally like keep it under 2 MB. I know a lot of like Slack, for example, they used to have a limitation on like the auto load for GIFs is under 2 MB. So you exported your video. Okay, I'll show you exactly that. Okay, let me actually just do this again. So how did you bring it into Photoshop for separate frames? You just go to File, Import Video Frames to Layers, and then you select your video right here. And you can select the entire thing, which I highly recommend not doing because it will limit you to 500 frames anyway. And it gives you a warning that's going to take a long time. So Photoshop will cut off your video. I actually don't really use 256 kilobytes. So here's just something I don't know, I'm gonna end this. I don't know, something right here. Let's just say, I don't know, I'm just cutting it arbitrarily here. But let's say I go back here and I try to export this right now, the way it is, without any optimization whatsoever. Yes, it is still a Jupiter. And you see how it's taking forever here to load? And that is even without the dithered. So now, even if it's set to the GIF 32 dithered, it says 3 MB, which is huge. And this is going to shoot up to probably like double that, 7 MB, which you do not want for a GIF. So we have to optimize this somehow, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually, how to optimize something like this is you go to on Streamlabs OBS. I think you can. As I mean, it doesn't matter how you get your video recording done. Oh, I should, yeah. All right, so what I'm doing now is that Mohammed did ask how to like basically optimize your GIFs so that they aren't too big. So we're gonna import this again, and you saw how big it was, about 7 megabytes when we didn't optimize it. So I'm gonna limit to every 3 frames. And you also want to limit your selection, right? I'm gonna say 2 actually, but limit your selection. So I'm gonna like move it down to like here. And selected range only, 2 frames. I trimmed the timeline significantly. And now it's going to be, how big is this? Exactly 100. Guys, we got exactly 100 frames just by that. So just that alone will make this 4 point, because it's a, so even though it's 100 frames, because it's a large resolution, I'm going to have to reduce that resolution, right? So I'm reducing this from 1280. Let's just have it. And that's the reason why you don't see that many GIFs that are like big resolution, is because they take up enormous sizes. Like they have a gigantic file size, unless it's something only a few, unless it's only a few megabytes or something like that. So I've resized this. I want to make sure this isn't too fast, which I think it is. So I'm selecting on my frames. I'm going to slow it down to 0.06. File, export, save for web. I'm setting this to the GIF 120 dithered. And this one is went down from 7.3 megabytes down to 2. And we're going to export this guy. And we'll see what happens. I dump it into my browser. It's still playing too fast, but that's okay. Yeah, there's your GIF. Does anybody else have any questions or want me to demonstrate anything else?
You could also raise your hand and unmute if you want to ask questions.
Okay, I don't know. I haven't tried making any quick prototypes in After Effects. Actually, I've always done it in XD or Figma or Sketch, so I can't answer that question. When my color palette is too big, then if it's something that's really important, then you probably are just better off rendering a video and exporting it either like as an MP4 for your site or whatever platform you're sharing it on, or using WebP. And I know I haven't mentioned WebP, but you could also upload it to something like the video itself to something like GiphyCat. And GiphyCat, actually I haven't used it in a while, but I'm just looking at a random one. But do you see how it's high quality? If this was, you can actually, I think you used to be able to do this. But if I actually just took this, right, this is easy. I'm saving this GIF, right? Oh, actually, let me see this, right? And if I import this, right, first of all, I'm not touching anything with this. I am just, the video itself is only 92 kilobytes, but if the GIF I just made is 2.38 megabytes. So GIFs are really not like optimized. And you can actually see right here, it doesn't look too bad, but you can still see the like next to her hair, that color depth discoloration. So two things, you're losing significant quality compared to this video. And your file size is 20 times larger at least. So that's why, especially for something like this, if it's something that's like really simple, like something like pixel art, like it's really easy. But is the chat going to be? I'm not sure if the chat will be on the recording. There was a question that I did skip, so I want to answer. Francine asked, could you animate some type? Yes, you can. So like, even if it's something like, okay, let's make something new. Let's just make this black. And so I'm going to be like, I'm going to write something like, why is it so big? Okay. My type tool decided to freeze out my machine. It'll take a while. Should be white. Yeah, so if you want to post your GIFs, post it in the event discussions channel, like GIF, like Grace made. Default transitions, I'm sure there's software that you can do that, or like you could even probably dump it into like a video editing program and add transitions there. But in Photoshop, I don't think so. So I'm just gonna leave this default font the way it is. So it says Design Buddies. So right here. Right? And so we want to animate this. What we can do is like, here, I'll do something silly. No. I guess something like this would be better for to use After Effects, but just for the sake of this, when not, I'm going to just, hey, where'd it go? Okay, I'm gonna just start over. Oh, that's one. That's weird. What's going on here? I don't know what I did, but anyway, for the sake of time, I'm just gonna select this again. So you can do something like this, where if you want to have text that's moving, you can just kind of drag it here. I don't know what I'm doing, I'm just kind of making mistakes right now. All right, you know what? So I'm just copying these and moving them arbitrarily. Have you guys seen those like intensifies GIFs? That's what we're making. So I'm gonna click on make frames from layers. Set this to, I don't know, something like this. And you can get something crazy like that. But yes, you can do text effects, and you can do it manually. Like if you want to do like a little fade in effect, you can change the, yeah, no, it's addicting, right? You can change the opacity. You could do a lot of things actually. Just to show an example. So I'll just show you something to be aware of. If you make any edits in your layers, it kind of messes up your timeline. So just be aware that when you're editing layouts, editing your layers, it's going to affect everything in your timeline as well. So yeah, what I was going to show you. Oh yeah, you can do like a quick fade. If you want to do like a quick fade in, fade out kind of thing. Really simple. So I'm just gonna make this, right? I'm gonna set the second layer opacity 80%, the third layer 60, fourth one 40. And there's something my enter key fell out. 20. And this, I'm gonna copy this a bunch of times. And I'll show you why. So now that that's there, okay, rasterize. So I hate when that happens. So we're gonna make all these frames again. I have never actually tried making GIFs in Premiere. I know you can, but the limited, just for like what Beth said, the limited frame rate is a big drawback. And Photoshop, you can Premiere, yes, like you can import more video types, but it's pretty easy to convert stuff and send it into Photoshop as well. So, all right, so this is a quick fade in, fade out. So you can do something like this. And if you want to make a nice little glowy effect, select the frames in between the first and last one, like we did earlier, paste after, not over, and then reverse them. And then you get something like this. So this is actually really good if you were like, let's say you're making a game, like a 2D game, and like you wanted to include like a little lamp or something, or like a neon sign. You do something like that. Yeah. Anything else I could show you? I could show you real quick a screen recording. Oh, transparent GIFs, stickers for the fade out design buddies. Okay, so I'll do that. Actually, so others here. So you want a sticker, a design buddy sticker, right? That is transparent with a fade out. Okay, so we're gonna do the same exact thing. 80. I'm making, so there's no back, there's no, there's nothing here basically. So since these are, I made a bunch of layers and they all have reduced opacity until there's nothing. Create frame animation, make frames from layers, make sure it's set to forever. Okay, and I'm going to make this, just do the same exact thing earlier, like where we reverse them, so it looks nice. Yeah, I know what I did here. I forgot to make frame. So when you do this, when you set the opacity, you have to make sure that the frame itself, there's nothing, it's set to Yeah. The frames need to be set to 100 opacity always, so you have to make a new blank frame and add it underneath. So I'm just really quickly remaking what we did. Reverse. And now we're gonna export it. And we're gonna do the transparency dither. Yeah, this is not working for some reason. And, oh wait. So that didn't, there you go. So yeah, this is what I was talking about with the fade in, fade out. Thanks, Beth. The fade in, fade out. You get that little pixelation thing, and you can kind of play around with it a little bit, but you may always have it just because. But you can try taking the interlaced option and seeing if that does anything. Since this is already white, the matte is going to be there. But generally, when it comes to anything transparent with animated GIFs, like with opacity or gradients, it's an issue. It's problematic, like so. And even if I change it to like, if you play around with a different dithering, that's what happens. So I'll show you another example real quick. If I made so I made like a simple gradient that just fades. Even if I set this to 256, right? I'm still going to get, and this is a GIF, even though it's a static GIF, you'll still see the issue here. Okay. Yeah, I got the Nitro thing. I don't have Nitro, so I don't know about the animated emoji file size limit. If you want to make a GIF with two videos, one is moving, okay, and one as a smart object. I don't think you can import a video as a smart object over, but just for the sake of time, I'm going to reuse this GIF that we made. And let's say I wanted to import, I've never used AScript GIF gun. So maybe Beth can answer that one. So let's say I wanted to import, I don't know. I'm going to import the Sailor Jupiter game again. So I'm going to skip to this part. And what I'm trying to do here is I'm going to basically, Mohammed asked, no problem, Beth. How can we make a GIF of two videos? If one video is moving, we want to add another one as a smart object. I'm not sure if you can add it as a smart object. We'll see, I can try. But yeah, basically that's what happens if you add it as a smart object. But we can add a video on top of another video if that's something you might be interested in. So I'm going to go from 28. Okay, so when you add a video on top of another video, you need to make sure that both videos have the same exact. Mama, could you ask why you want to share your screen, please? If you want to. Grace, what are you saying?
Oh, we could also take a group photo soon since I know we're at time. I don't know if people have to go, but if you have time, feel free to stay around and answer any questions as well.
Yeah, let's do the group photo now then.
All right, cool. But yeah, give it 10 seconds if you're able to turn on your screen. We could do a group wave as well. But yeah, feel free to stop sharing your screen so we can take everyone.
Yeah, there we go.
Awesome. Cool. We're also gonna do a group photo in a wave. Did you want to do more Q&A afterwards as well? Like, I could do anything. Or did you want to wrap it up after this? Anything's fine.
We can do an animated GIF of us waving.
Yeah, sure. You can
Really?
yes. Wait. Yeah. I love that.
I have an idea.
Okay. We're gonna take a group photo first. I'll count down, and then you can take a video as well. I'll let you get that set up, and then I would take a video for our Instagram story. So we have double. Wait, that's so wholesome. That is a great idea. We should have a GIF of us waving at like all Design Buddies events.
I'm setting it up. Zoom won't let me do it that way. I'm gonna try to do a display capture. Okay. I'm recording it so I can actually make a GIF.
Oh, okay, perfect. Let's do a group photo first. Ready? You prefer like grab an object if you want. Probably not. But yeah. Nice. All right. 1, 2, 3. Say cheese. All right, we're gonna do a wave for our Instagram story. So feel free to like wave, dance, dab, and then later Nabil will make this into a GIF. So you'll be in our GIF.
You guys can watch. If you guys want, we can make the GIF right now.
Yeah, sure. And then I'll do another one for Instagram story. Did you get it? All right. I think that's good, but I'll wave again for your Instagram story.
Okay.
Ready, set, go. Hello, buddies. Woo! Yeah! Oh, now that's too enthusiastic again. Ready, set, wave. Hello, buddies. You're at Make a GIF Workshop by Nabil. Cool. Awesome. Did you want to demo the GIF or not?
Yeah, I'm gonna do that right now.
All right, cool. Feel free to share your screen.
I'm gonna stop recording this. We're going to import video frames from layers. There's a brand new one. It's on right now. I need to figure out where we were. Where to start the GIF, so I'm starting it here. And I want to end it before Grace did the, like this. I guess that's too long. Here we go. Oh, we'll see what happens. No problem. Thanks for coming by, Wade and Michael. It's taken a while since it's importing my entire screen. So you're still importing. Let me see how my RAM is doing. Okay, I still have some 8 gigs or so left, but yeah, sometimes this is what happens when you dump a large video into Photoshop, it kind of chugs, so now it's not really doing anything. It might just be that issue. Okay, I think I'm just gonna try this again with Photoshop. I close Figma and okay. Import. Okay. Let's select this again. All right. So it's less than 500 this time, and hopefully it'll be smoother. Hopefully Photoshop doesn't crash on us. Cool. So I'm actually going to crop the screen share part here and this part and also this. So it's kind of nice. And you don't get any of the zoom stuff to distract. So it's cropping and it's going to take a while. So yeah, this is actually a really good demonstration of why you shouldn't use Photoshop for super large resolution and long videos. Because this will take a bit. Or, there we go. Ha! There's not enough RAM. Yeah. So what we can do is the 22. The cheap and easy way. Yeah, I never had to do it like this before, but what was that? 560. Sometimes you need a calculator for Photoshop. It'll work now. I regret doing it this way again. I don't know why I did. All right. You, Jess, thanks for your help. Bye. Grace, you think we should just end it then? I can just post different event submissions.
Yeah, make sure to just end it in event submissions. I try to finish up some work as well. But make sure to stop streaming on YouTube. Oh, yeah, thank you all for coming. I do not have control of the main host anymore, so just make sure to stop streaming on YouTube. I think it's on the top right-hand corner.
Yeah, on